We are recording now. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we'll figure it out as we're going.
Ice cold beer!
Welcome to this episode of Getting Tapped. Hey, I am Tom.
And I'm Chris.
And this episode, we are going to take a dive into an issue that seems to be juicier than a triple NEPA, and that is the heated fight brewing between the Florida breweries and the DBPR. After that, we'll kind of just ramble on with whatever the fuck we feel like talking about.
Yeah.
So sit back and enjoy the show. So what's going on, man?
Not too much. I brought over Broken String's latest release. They pulled out a new, not new, newish. They've been doing this a couple times now because it's so popular. The Cherry Cola Sour.
And I hate sours so much. And I was very reluctant in even taking a sip of this. And I did. And I didn't even wash the glass out. And I was like, fuck, this is delicious. I don't think I could drink it all night long, but I could certainly, get one on a flight, give it a whirl. This is, kudos to Charles and Broken Strings. This is the best tasting sour I've ever had. Yeah,
it's very cherry. Got a nice little bit of carbonation in there, and it's good taste.
It's amazing. It almost literally tastes like a cherry Coke that's kind of been left open for an hour or so. That's gotten a little flat, but that's not a knock to the sour itself. But it's extremely delicious, and if you have your chance to get your hands on one of these bad boys, you should do that.
Plus, I think if you're trying to kind of an early intro to beers, especially with like your girlfriend or whatnot, this is a good beer to kind of try out on her or on that person that really hasn't tried beers with a lot of flavor. Because cherry cola. Who doesn't like cherry cola? And this is probably as close as you're going to get to it.
Chicken cherry cola.
But yeah, so kudos to Charles.
So we're going to do this episode a couple weeks ago, but due to scheduling conflicts, we didn't. And part of me thought, oh, God, they're going to fucking resolve this issue before you have a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, there was that
Little
thought.
did we know, absolutely nothing has changed.
Yeah, 3 months, still here.
Everything is about COVID. We got our COVID talk out of the way before this episode because
we didn't want to rant all day about it.
We might dive into it a little bit before after this, but essentially what we're talking about right now is bars, clubs, which including breweries, were kind of forced to close down yet again per the DBPR in late June due to health concerns. That was an air quote. You can't see it because we're on a podcast. Swirling around COVID-19. It's kind of sad for everybody involved. This was laid out in the Executive Order 2020-09. Restaurants and bars that already had on-premise food service were exempt from this executive order.
Bruh.
I'm a little late on. We're trying out this new soundboard app to kind of get some little zingers and things here now. Yeah. I got to work out the timing of this because that was there's
a little delay. Yeah. Got to get the cricket sound for that.
I'm gonna hit certain things and people aren't gonna know what I'm kind of talking about.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what movie that's from?
That's from Full Metal Jacket.
Yes. I was trying to figure out where in the show I could actually throw that into. I was just gonna randomly do it wherever. That.
Classic.
Oh my god. So yeah, it's interesting.
So basically, they decided that apparently, unless you're solely drinking alcohol, you can't get it. Everyone else is okay, but if you apparently just want to drink, this
is a smart virus. If you're eating food, you're safe.
Yes,
you can eat food and drink beer. You're safe, but if you just drink beer, you are fucked. Yeah. Destination fucked. So essentially, the tap rooms, everybody knows are unfairly being targeted by the state government, while restaurants have been allowed to remain open.
Yes.
And if you know anything about, that is my dog barking. How long have we been sitting in the studio?
Probably like a half hour at least.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And as soon as we record, this dog wants to freaking bark her head off. What a nincompoop. I love that dog. Anywho, I do feel like they've been unfairly targeted by the state. Listeners out there, brewers, people who know anything about brewing beers, how sanitary these places can't need to be.
Yes.
So if anybody knows how to keep a place fucking sanitary,
it's a brewery.
It's a brewery.
Yes.
Because if you don't keep your equipment sanitized during the process,
it can screw up the recipe.
Right.
At the very least. Yeah.
Several breweries apparently, from what we've been told, had armed agents showing up from Florida's Division of Alcoholic Beverages and Tobacco, who apparently had openly criticized these measures when they started coming out.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna have fun with this one once we really get ramped up with this one. One of those breweries in particular was Ardwolf, which is up in Jacksonville. 2 separate occasions, agents had showed up, one of which they already had the forms pre-filled. That would actually have been a good place for the what the fuck one.
Yeah.
Pre-filled citing noncompliance, meaning they had planned to cite Ardwolf based on circumstances that had not been observed physically by the agents or the state.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, and basically, just so everybody knows, we are not talking out of turn here. Anything we are bringing up that is specific to certain breweries has been posted on social media or talked about with the media in general. So we are not. We've not had conversations with the breweries, and we're bringing things here.
Yeah.
We don't. This anything we basically throw out now. It's already out in the ether, and it's our opinion. So.
Yes.
Nobody cares. Aside from Ardwolf, several breweries have had AB&T agents show to the breweries after they raised concerns about reopening criteria, after they had contacted the DBPR via phone or email communication. So it seems like if you question what they're doing, and they're not even really going off on this, they're just asking, hey, what do we need to do? How do we do this? How do we be in compliance?
Yeah.
From what we can tell, this is a clear tactic of an intimidation from the state, DBPR, and Halsey Bashir's. This fucking guy. And I know everybody feels the same way about this fucking guy. We're going to take a quote from Devin Krebs, who hope I said his last name right, via post on Facebook from July 10th. For those who don't know who Devin is, he is the owner of Seventh Son Brewery, which has locations in Dunedin and Tampa. He says, in quote, breweries are being targeted by one guy with a grudge who is an appointed official, who is not an appointed official, and who is in charge of a regulatory branch of state government which has nothing to do with health and safety. That's an interesting fact.
That is interesting for the position he's in, yeah.
Many of who, now we're out of the quotes here. Many who have had agents show up feel this is a retaliation. Unfortunately, they can't prove that they are, but it's very coincidental. Or how many coincidences? Jesus Christ, I fucked that one up. I fucked up my own writing. These are my notes. But something I keep saying is, how many coincidences need to happen before it's mathematically impossible?
Yes. Everyone wants to ignore what those signs are being shown out there.
Right. It's not like 100 breweries reached out and complained, and 2 were hit. It seemed when this first happened in June, there was a handful of breweries, and they were all hit one by one right after. I mean, within a day or two. Since the closure, it seems there have been fights taken to the DBPR on how this is complete bullshit and how they can reopen. According to Bashir's, it sounds like a really shitty Halsey Bashir's. That sounds like a low-grade furniture store. It's not quite
It's
was a
trying
good
to
one?
put a fancy name on something that's trash.
It's like there's like Ashley Furniture, Home Goods. What's like a furniture store? Bears.
Bears.
Yeah, Halsey Bashir's. Like you might find his shit at Bears. I don't know. How this is complete BS and how they can reopen. According to Bashir's and the DBPR, if a brewery acquires an on-premise food license, apparently food trucks were considered acceptable at first.
Yes,
but
and then they
were no
changed
longer.
it to where you had to have like 2 years of sales data to prove that you had 50% of your income from food was there for a little bit.
So maybe if you had a partnership with a food truck that was
But
only that was the
money
only
would have to go to you, is what that was the conversation I had with Charles. Is
Okay.
he was basically explaining that, because I was asking about, hey, you guys have the food truck that's here almost every time. Is there anything you can do with that? He's like, no, the income has to come from us, and then if we somehow were paying them based off of us, but he's like, it has to come
like
into
if they
us
order
as part of their
like with Rock Pit, they order from the restaurant next door.
yeah, it wouldn't be, yeah, they would not fall.
but you
into
don't
that.
pay through. You don't pay for it through
No,
the brewer. Okay.
no, yeah.
I've been to Rock Pit and
You give
ordered,
them
but
the-
I've left before the bill's been paid, so I can't remember.
Yeah. No, they make you call them, and then you give the payment information to them over the phone, and then they come and you sign it at that point.
Oh my God, did my wife not pay for the food?
I don't know.
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry, Rock Pit. I'm pretty sure.
I was gonna say it's not Ruck Pit. You gotta apologize to
Is it Cecil's that's next door to them?
Cecil's Barbecue. Yeah.
Shit, it's so good. I'm not a meat eater, but man, I love barbecue.
Oh yeah.
when I do eat it.
And Cecil's is good barbecue.
Oof, it's good stuff.
But yeah.
So back to the food license, the being compliance with the executive order. This license, I believe, is known as the 509 license. So again, if you apparently serve food, the COVID can't get you. This is government logic, by the way. This is government logic at its finest.
Ring a ding ding.
You know, with these constant closures back and forth, I mean, just like restaurants, these breweries operate on pretty much a razor thin profit margin
Profit
here.
margin, yeah. Yeah. There's
And not to say that I want to see any breweries close, but I am shocked that we've not seen as many close. I mean,
yeah. Well, we definitely have seen delays.
yeah.
Motorworks was supposed to be moving into the space downtown, and they've been delayed until recently. Things started picking back up.
Yeah.
But basically, for the 2 to 3 months so far that we've been down, they have not posted anything, and they were already advertising months before this even hit. They were saying, "Hey, this is going to be our new space."
Right. The last thing I saw was they were building the beer garden
Yeah. Yep.
or deck, or I don't know what exactly they're going to call it, but
yeah.
the outside
area.
So, you know, the longer and longer this goes on, you know, you worry how many people are going to go show up to their brewery, and it's been, you know, completely closed forever. So it's,
No, God! No, God, please, no!
this is a long one.
No,
but it's
Toby,
perfect.
No! No!
You know, if you want to find more information about this, you can talk to your local brewery when you go in there, and they'll explain it to you. I mean, it seems like gangbusters. I've been seeing more and more breweries opening back up because they've acquired this license.
Yes.
And by acquiring this license, you don't have to have a full-fledged menu.
Yeah.
You can literally just serve chips and salsa, apparently.
Something you can throw in the microwave.
Is that what it is? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have to hit a certain percentage per?
The news I heard before they started allowing the 509 license was that you basically had to have what Charles explained was about 2 years worth of income data from that.
Like, again, we're talking out of turn. We probably should have inquired from a brewery exactly what they need to do with this 509
Yeah.
license. That's kind of our fault. But again, we don't own a brewery, so
No.
we're kind of just talking about it.
Yeah,
so
this
don't
This is
blast
the interaction
us.
I had with Charles, like I said, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's not that recent.
So, you know, if you want to head over to the Florida Brewers Guild Facebook page, we'll leave a link in the description. They show you how to get in touch with your local legislation and kind of, you know, voice your opinions on what's been going on and find out what they can do to help this and what we can all do. One of the biggest things we can do right now is supporting these local breweries. Some of them have not been able to get the license because they've been inundated. So I think they said it takes 2 weeks to a month. It might be backlogged even farther. I don't know.
Yeah. Everything's backlogged right now.
But pretty much every brewery, unless specifically noted, is doing online orders or call-in orders, and you can do curbside pickup and at least pick up the beer and enjoy it at home with your friends and family. Keep it under 10 people.
Yes.
Fucking shit. I'll have a fucking 11-person party if I fucking feel like it. But basically, this is the best way we can support the breweries right now.
Yeah. To help keep them afloat while they're not able to be open. Yeah.
Right. It's hard. You know, I would love to be able to, you know, be buying more and more, but you know, being on furlough, I got to watch my money as much as possible as the next guy, and it's killing me not to just, you know, show up to a brewery and buy as much as I want.
Yeah.
Go in there and make it rain. And buy everything out and help these people because, you know, they've always been so good and gracious to us.
Yeah.
It sucks. It really sucks. And I hope this really kind of goes away at some point.
Sooner than later.
Probably
yeah.
November 4th. I think that's
what
about when this just goes away.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. We'll see.
You got a little update here of the Knights Pub. That situation that was like a month ago that
Yeah.
that seemed bad, but then because we know the people involved, we're like, wait a second, that's
Yeah.
not right.
So yeah, I'm sure everyone saw because of national headlines that part of our spike came from Knight's Pub, and the owner there, Michael D'Esposito, he basically got his license suspended. He was the precursor to all this stuff before we started shutting back down. This spike happened there that they found, I think it was like 30 some positive cases.
Because they said there was like 400 people
Yes.
packed into the bar, and we're like, I don't think so.
So they had these pictures that were, you know, people wearing no masks and everything else, and basically,
Why were they not wearing masks in the picture?
Yeah.
Chris?
So what was found out was that the pictures that the DPBR decided to use were basically the recent pictures, but they didn't spend 2 seconds to verify they were from a year ago.
And what answer is that?
That is a wrong answer. So yes, Michael basically attested it. He, you know, tried to fight it and showed them the evidence that these were pictures from last summer that they decided to use as evidence as Exhibit A and B.
Because Mike probably went to the Facebook page and was like,
Yeah.
this was last year.
Yes.
So fucking
Yeah,
idiots.
and then they also got blamed, or they tried to. There was a picture of outside. Somebody supposedly driving by took of all these kids out there, and they try to use that because they're like, they're not wearing masks out there, and they're, you know, Michael's like, they're not in my business. I can't tell them they have to put a mask on outside.
Right. Yeah.
Like technically, they could claim that they're exercising and they don't have to wear a mask.
Yeah. I mean, until you pay cover,
Yes.
and or buy a drink based on if there's a cover or not,
Yes,
you're not a customer.
It wasn't
of the
his
place at that point.
responsibility. So he fought the man and he won.
Yeah,
Got his license reinstated, and I think they realized that they, with obviously all the mistakes they made, they couldn't use him as a example, basically, of we're coming down hard on when somebody makes a mistake. It's like, well, actually, you made the mistake.
Well, it's interesting because you know the area too, and it's
Mm-hmm.
you know in between both of our houses.
Yep.
I thought when that happened that they were trying to intentionally close everything right there because they're tearing down. They're tearing down everything for this. No, I even heard that they're tearing down the apartments back behind there as well to build this new fancy shindig.
Yeah. Shopping
complex.
Yep.
Which anybody who went to UCF or knows the area, it's right behind the old Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
The drug dealers. Apparently, the drug dealers lived there. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, that place changed. There was a
It's where Dante Culpepper used to live.
so the bar that's right next to Knight's Pub, which is like Knight something. It's the pool hall right next to it.
That was the old Pizza Hut.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that business has changed hands so many times. I used to go in college when it was owned by this English born guy who made deli meals. So we'd get some great sandwiches, chicken salad, whatever. Like he made really good
I forgot about that place.
for so cheap. And then after that, it was taken over by, they were either Puerto Rican or some type of Caribbean. They made insane chicken with like, different hot sauces. They had a white sauce, a green sauce, an orange sauce.
The sauces, man. The
Oh
sauces
man,
make
and
that
the
shit.
seasoning on the
Ooh.
chicken, it was so good. And some plantains and some rice and black
You lost
beans.
me at plantains. I don't know what they have like the consistency of a slug. I don't know what it is. It just bothers
You're
me.
getting badly fried.
It just bothers me. I don't know why it bothers me so much.
But yeah, so that place has been completely changed. And I love how they keep trying to put. You've been here long enough, you realize too, that road has so many restaurants and places that are open and then like months later close.
Yeah.
Like, nothing survives down that road.
Speaking of Dante Culpepper, he was involved in what was
The
it?
Culpeppers.
It was Culpeppers, yeah. It was good food.
Yeah.
The problem was the price point it was at.
Yes. You aren't going to get the college traffic.
You're not going to get the college traffic.
Yep.
And there's too many options for the business crowd.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they closed. I mean, they had a ton of sauces. And then it was replaced by
Freddy's.
Which is,
Which
I
that
feel like is a
lasted.
little higher end of
Steak and Shake?
yeah.
Yeah.
But then they closed.
Yep. Yeah,
And
so now it's empty right now.
Now it's been tagged by a gang member named Sea-Doo. So
Yeah,
that's
they-
great.
Yeah, they used to have Fazoli's down that road, remember? And then that place left.
I mean, 25 years ago, there was Fazoli's,
Yes.
Miami Subs,
Shoney's.
McDonald's,
Shoney's was there
Shoney's.
for a while back.
Because I grew up
I
in
think
Oviedo,
Applebee's is
so-
the only thing that survived through all this stuff, which I don't understand. I never go to Applebee's.
Applebee's.
I remember doing the University Crawl. Did you ever do that?
No.
So all the bars that were on that street, starting at the college, at Alafaya, you would walk down University and you'd hit as many places that served beer. It wasn't bars because obviously that road didn't really have any bars. You would hit every place that had some kind of alcohol and take a drink, and you try to see how far down University you could get.
Hooligans. It's
Oh yeah,
the
Houlihan's
kids don't
was
know
there.
what now. It's what the night library.
Night Library.
That's a funny. Have you been in there?
No.
My wife and I went in there. It was, oh my God, it was 8 years ago now. We were in our 30s then, still. But I remember going after my parents owned the Moat.
Yes.
And they had their Christmas party. And mind you, everybody who worked at the restaurant was, a UCF student or, of that age.
Do you have
So-
slutty Santas?
No slutty Santas. My wife and I were there. And when we were at the Moat, and I wasn't an employee of the Moat, but my parents owned it. I did their social media and, some graphic stuff for them. So I kind of just showed up. I was like, I'm going to be here anyway. Everybody's like, oh, we're going to night library.
Yeah.
When we were, in our college days, night library was in the UC7 Plaza.
Yes.
And I was like,
Across
well, I
the
got to
street.
see what this is about because we used to love going to Houlihan's.
Yep.
And when they closed, we were upset about that. And I think, so the guy asked for my ID, and I was like, I'm older than you. And then they tried to charge us a cover, and I laughed and said, no, I'm not. So I'm in my 30s, I'm not paying a fucking cover.
I drink. I don't need to
Not
pay you
coming
to come in.
into Houlihan's. And so I think he laughed and didn't charge us to come. I don't believe we paid to get in.
I remember we did something similar at Knight's Pub one night. They're like, yeah, cover is what?
But that
And we're
was,
like, I'm like,
that was
really?
like a year ago. We were really old then.
We're like, really?
Weren't we wearing like dress shirts? I think it was like after work one night.
Business attire, yeah.
And it was like that record scratch as soon as we walk in. It's like all these college kids are looking at us like
These old guys.
these old fucks. So we go in there, and it just smells like,
Oh God, yeah. The
it
floor is
smelled
sticky.
like puke.
Yes.
My wife and I are like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Smelled
What
like a
are we
frat
doing
house.
with our lives? What are we doing wrong with our lives that we are here right now?
Yeah.
Now we live closer. We lived in Waterford Lakes then. Now we live, right down
Closer to
University. We can hear that fucking place.
Oh, jeez.
Seriously, if somebody's listening to that place, I live 2.5 miles away, and I can fucking hear your goddamn bar. Especially when it's cold.
Oh yeah.
The sound travels.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho. What else do we want to talk about? It's been a while since we've recorded.
I know it's been too long.
I think we've recorded a couple episodes, but they've not been uploaded
I've not been the
because
greatest. Yeah.
we have to do so much production work, and that's why we were doing
Post production. Yeah.
we were doing all this stuff, and we had to do this all in afterwards. But then,
Yeah.
we decided to incorporate the this
Sound bites.
Holy Jesus.
Still love this one.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, because the hope is basically these are just going to be live recordings that we post up. So it's
Yeah,
little to
whatever it
know,
is.
After, let me cut out, this 2-second cough and try to get all this crap going.
COVID.
You must have COVID. That's the other thing that's really annoying. Now, no matter what, like even if you sneeze because of allergies or
It's COVID.
dust, the people look at you like you're a fucking
It happened to me.
leper.
It's been a while since I've really been in a store. I was at Walmart getting groceries,
Yep.
and it was like kind of like one of those weird cough things, like I swallowed my spit and like kind of like half thing. I was trying to breathe at the same time. I don't know what I was trying to do, but it wasn't a full cough. It was kind of like a mm-hmm. And this lady like backs
Like a
up out of the
clearing
aisle
throat.
and goes. I just start laughing. I'm like, good Lord, lady.
She wanted to be nowhere near you. COVID.
And mind you, I was like 20 feet away. I was at the other end of the aisle.
Yeah.
And she's just like, nope.
Not gonna do it.
Nope.
I'm not gonna do it.
So how many people have you seen wearing full hazmat suits during this?
None. Oh wait, no, one.
I've seen one. I was wondering. I walk out of Walmart and I see people taking pictures, and I'm like, what's going on here? And this was early on in the stages, like middle of March.
Yeah.
Like before I was furloughed, it was like a weekend. I was like, fuck, people are taking pictures of. There's like a Pepsi truck in the way. And I walk, I'm like, there he fucking is. There he is.
Yeah,
This guy.
I had a. This was also early, like probably March, where I was at Publix and leaving, and I saw a Karen getting a kid arrested. I'm assuming because he wasn't wearing a mask, too close to her car or whatever. But yeah, it was interesting there at the beginning. And then I love, everyone's like sitting there saying, you guys are going to get a hurricane. Like, it's like a tropical storm right now. It's not, it's
yeah.
a hurricane now, yet it's a category 1. Like,
First of all, don't bother me unless it's a category 3. Yes. This year, don't fucking bother me unless it's a 4 or 5. Because I'm not having it.
Exactly.
And I didn't even know it was coming.
yeah.
I don't remember. Somebody from the company I work for is in Pennsylvania. Somebody reached out to me. They're like, "Oh, the hurricane's coming through." I was like, "Oh, what?"
You're like, wait, let me Google this. Oh, that's why.
Check this out. Oh, it's like 5 days away. This thing's not. And then I went on to talk about the one. What was the one last year that took fucking forever?
Oh,
I don't remember the name of it.
yeah. Charlie? No, wasn't Charlie.
It just
It
it
was
just fucking
stop.
lingered. It's like
It was the slowest moving hurricane.
it's like you're waiting for the bus to come down the street, but it's just like stopping every 5 feet.
Yeah.
Like,
Can
I think after like 2 weeks, I'm like, I'm fucking done with this goddamn storm. I don't give a shit if it levels everything.
Yeah.
I don't care.
My
But
wife-
then, turns out the storm that was coming to us ended up doing more damage to the northeast up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it pushed off our coast and then made a straight shot up. It was like, oh,
There it is.
yeah, knocking power out for people up north. But yeah, it was like my wife had she was getting a little concerned when it first intensified to where they were like, oh, it's going to become a hurricane. She's like, should we be worried about the grocery stores? Because, the food was impossible to get at the grocery stores, and toilet paper, of course, because that makes sense, for the longest time.
I felt like I was in Russia when they were talking about the toilet paper. I'm like, this seems like a very Russian thing.
Why is toilet paper the thing I can't get a hold of? Is this the shitting virus?
Thankfully, before that all happened, we had just gone to Costco. I think Costco Beaches, wherever we have the membership,
I've got a
and
huge
got like
stack.
this 50 roll thing. So I'm like, we're good. And then we fucking run out. We start to get low, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if we can get toilet paper.
It's still not there.
It's like 3.5 months later. I'm like, fuck, I don't even get toilet paper. I don't know what's gonna happen. So,
I got lucky because Amazon Subscribe. I had a couple things on my Amazon Subscribe, and that was one of them. And obviously everyone encounters this. You do an Amazon Subscribe, and they're like, "Oh, we recommend you getting it this often." And you find out you don't need it that often. You're like double that at least.
I know better.
But you get that extra shipment, so you've got extra of whatever.
Right.
I had that happen 3 deliveries combined with toilet paper.
Nice.
I had it too close, so I got one. I was like, oh, I need to change that. Then I got the next month. I'm like, oh, I still got too much. And I was like, oh, by this point, I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I've got toilet paper for days.
Now I just add it every other week, and we're flush with toilet paper.
Yes.
Oh, that's a soundbite we need to put on there.
Yes.
A little drum roll.
The drum roll. But yeah, so the weirdest things, I had a situation at the grocery store where they were trying to tell me I could only have 2 types of bread that I could buy. So this was the thing I've gotten into a lot of people with. I'm like, of all things to stop people hoarding, you pick a perishable item.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, you could freeze the bread. You could
freeze it. That's true.
We did that.
But okay, so this is the issue I had. We're not going to the grocery store obviously as much because there's always never anything there. So you're trying to extend every trip you have to take. So we needed sliced bread, not unusual. We needed what was the other one? Sliced bread,
like a French bread, something from the bakery.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the top of my head now. But the third item, it was burger bread. We're gonna have burgers, so we need bigger burger buns, sliced bread for sandwiches. And I'm like, oh yeah, so we're having Italian this week. I'm gonna get frozen garlic bread.
Okay.
Frozen garlic bread sent me over the limit apparently, and I had to choose which ones to put back. I'm like, oh really?
They did the same thing. Publix did the same thing to me. I had 2 boxes of like the Cracker Barrel mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And then a box of package of like another box of pasta, and that's when they were doing 2 boxes. And the lady said something. Oh, and I also had. I guess they were doing 2 things of cheese, and I had.
Oh, the cheese.
Yeah, I think I had like a package of sliced cheese, string cheese, and then shredded cheese. Obviously, all different ones. And they tried to pull that crap with me. They're like, "Oh, well, it's only a limit of 2," and I was like, "No." I'm like, listen, I get it if you try to put like 8 loaves of bread up here,
yeah,
or 8 packages of sliced cheese. They're all kind of different. That's like Nathan, and Nathaniel. It's kind of the same thing, but they're all different.
Yes.
But they are the same thing. And it's not like I'm going crazy. And like you're saying, you want to limit people's exposure to this.
Yeah.
But you're telling me I can only have 1 or 2 of this. Mm-hmm. What about people who have families of 7 or 8? Well, now somebody's got to go to the store every 2 days. It's all stupid.
It really makes absolutely no sense, and they keep changing what's important, what's not important.
So basically, my workaround, because they still wouldn't let me do it, was I put it to the side and I got done. I took those 2 items, I grabbed the 2 items from there, walked over to customer service, and paid for them there. Like, this is how I'm going to get around this
exactly.
one.
Well, I told them, what stops me from literally doing a circle right when I get done and go through the line again?
Right.
It was stupid. I'm like, I'm not getting 12 bags of baked beans, or not baked beans, but beans, dried beans.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. That's ridiculous. That's when you're like limiting your stock. This is a normal 2-week grocery list for a person. They're going to have Italian. They're going to, of course, want garlic bread. They're going to probably end up making burgers or something. So they're going to need a bread specific with that. And they're going to need regular sandwich bread. Yeah. It's not that unusual. So
like the different cheeses. Mm-hmm. They're different.
Yeah. I want different sliced cheese for sandwiches. I want shredded cheese for this meal. And I want a shredded cheese for
fajitas. They all serve different purposes. Yes. The string cheese is for my kid.
A lasagna. You get fucked just by a lasagna. Ricotta.
I can't even make fucking lasagna.
And then I want a normal cheese. Come on. What the? Parmesan. I want Parmesan. I can't do all 3.
Where does this end? Well, like the meat. They say you can only have 2 packages of meat. It's like, well, I want turkey, chicken, and beef.
Yes.
I'm going to choose between all of them?
Yeah, we were doing that because we started using turkey to limit how much beef we were getting because beef was becoming harder to get.
Yeah.
So we started adding turkey and shredded chicken to the list. We're like, okay, that way we offset the meats that we're using, but still get the meat we need. And it was like, now you can only have so many types of meat. It's like, oh my God. So you had to get the bigger one. Like you try to get the 3-pound because it said you could have 3 packs.
Yeah.
So you could get the largest 3-pounder, or you could only get 3 of those. So 9 pounds of meat, or you could just get 3 1-pounders.
Right.
It's like, really? So you'd rather me tell the guy in the back to repackage this as a full 3-pound, so I can buy it as 1. Oh, that was annoying. I'm
gonna find a workaround here. That's right, because I bought the turkey, ground beef, and chicken, and I don't eat red meat, so I got the Beyond Burger. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to tell me, they're like, "Oh, you have 4 packages of meat." I'm like, "1 is not meat."
Mic drop.
I think I don't even think she like paid attention that it said Beyond Burger. I think she just saw something.
It
that
looked like a burger patty,
and just kind of swiped it through. She's like, "That's 4." I'm like, "No, it's 3." And
That's
she kind of looked at it and was like, No, I didn't go Karen on anybody. I just kind of was like, let's not even meet.
Yeah,
Please tell me this isn't going to be.
doesn't meet your quota.
If that's the case, I'm going to do 8 packages of this. But that is the good workaround there.
Yeah.
You just go to the butcher and say, okay,
Combine
I need
it.
4 pounds of meat.
Yes.
That's 1 package.
Yeah. See if you can even do like a variety pack or whatever. Be like, I want all these put into one package, and I just pay for it as one price.
Oh, God. Okay, here's the other thing that I have a problem with. So we do the Walmart pickup. We were doing this pre-COVID.
Yeah. And you like that, you were saying, right?
I love it because I hate.
We were
going to-
unsure. We just my thought process was that you're trusting somebody else. Like anything that gets missed or whatever, it just becomes a big annoyance because
So you get the opportunity within the app as you add something to the cart. If there's like a comparable item or flavor or
You can
something,
tell them ahead of
it'll
time.
say, "Would you like to replace this if it's out of stock, or don't worry about it?"
Okay.
So there's some things.
Okay.
Like I've moved to coffee, but every now and then I kind of want a Bang energy drink.
Yes.
I like the sour heads one.
Sourhead. Yep.
But I don't like any other flavor. So instead of picking
you
a different
say-
one, I would just say, "Don't replace it."
Okay.
And a couple times they were out, and I'm like, "No, they're not." And because they have this weird section, I think the person shopping went into the aisle
He didn't go
where
in the
they have
actual-
some, but they have this
Oh,
gigantic.
they have the end cabinets or the end.
yeah, they have something like it's in
end
the middle.
caps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I know that's where it is. I'm like,
Yep.
no,
I've
I'm
seen
pretty
that
sure
too.
it's there.
Yeah, they keep them at the end caps all the time. Yeah.
But they also have it in the aisle.
In the
I'm like,
aisle.
anywho.
they checked one.
Walmart would be almost perfect if they had better selection of LaCroix, because we're middle-aged people and we love LaCroix. But here is my problem with it.
What's that?
So if you order pretty much the first times we did it, we had like 37 items, something like that.
Okay.
We had 30 bags.
Whole.
They're putting like one item per bag.
Wow.
So it's like, here's a package of cheese. It gets a bag. Here's a jar of pickles. Gets a bag.
Wow.
Here's 2 tomatoes. Gets a bag. Like there's no bagging. I think what happens is they pull something off the shelf
And they put it in
They
the
just
bag.
put it in a bag and put it in the cart. Holy shit.
It's a lot of wasted
That's
plastic.
a lot of wasted. I mean, it's come in handy now because we have like a ton of baby clothes that we're kind of
donating
organizing
stuff.
to sell, donate, things like that.
Yep.
So it kind of comes in handy when you're trying to put like 8 newborn onesies in a thing and 8
Yes.
newborn pants in a thing. And we can kind of separate it out easier. So come in handy.
Yeah, we reuse our diaper boxes for that.
That's
you
what we
get
were doing.
yeah.
I got bins because
There's so many
all the
diaper boxes.
diaper boxes were different sizes. And I'm like, this is annoying the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's like Tetris.
I'm going to take you to the garage and show you the clothes bins that we're going through. It's fun.
Oh man.
It's interesting. I
Yes.
cannot believe how many clothes people have. And imagine how, I think it's like the equivalent of what we have as adults, but it just seems like a lot.
It's so much. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
You go
have
through
a couple
clothes.
kids. Yeah.
You go through clothes a lot quicker with kids. And
Right. Yeah. It's like,
whether they have blowouts, whether they're just growing, so they run. 1 week they fit into this clothes, the next week they don't fit in those
right.
clothes.
It's, yeah, like most people during quarantine, it's like you fit into it, now you don't. But it's like a baby. It's like you wear it the next day, you're like,
Quarantine
this doesn't fit anymore. My wife had to explain to me, because I'm like, why the fuck do we have so many clothes? And she had to explain. She's like, well, they don't fit after a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
It sounds
fit.
legit, but I don't know
I was
enough.
gonna say they probably don't look that great, but they still fit. Like you put it on the
I
t-shirt.
don't
goes a
know. It
little
doesn't
above
sound
the
legit,
tummy.
but you know better than I do because you're the one that buys all the kids' clothes and dresses them mostly.
Yes. Well, they tell us like they still kind of fit, but to them it's like you would not walk outside if you looked like this.
Right, yeah. Like, I look at my son and I'm like, that fits, but if I were to try to put that on, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. So I'm not going to make you do it.
Yes.
But we also have a ton of boys' clothes because before we knew we were having a girl, we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
So we kept all of the boys' clothes.
I
'Cause,
gotcha. Yes.
Like, well, if it's a boy, we have to buy no clothes. But then we had a girl, and then it turned into, well, a lot of these you could dual purpose as girl stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm letting my
they're
wife kind of
fairly
figure it
unisex.
all out and
Yep.
do her thing.
yeah.
I'm trying to help her as much as I can, but she knows better what these things are worth, and
Yeah.
it's been a real hoot. Where are we at? Oh my God, 40 minutes. So this big issue we were talking about, the Halsey Bashir's thing, we kind of ran through that really fucking fast, didn't we?
We did ramble.
But you know what? You know why? Because we don't own a brewery.
Yeah.
We don't have a stake in one.
Yes.
So, we're just kind of bringing to light and talking about it. Maybe we'll follow up in another week. Maybe somebody who owns, runs, invests, or works at a brewery
Yeah.
may tell us how fucking stupid we
We're,
sound.
we're doing basically what everyone has to kind of do now. If you still want to do what you would do at a brewery, you want to sit down with a friend, you want to have a beer, and you want to talk about what's been going on.
Yeah.
And this is our life in COVID. So how do you get it done?
But wear your mask
We
from the
sit
door to the table.
Yes, and then
You
take
take it off. The COVID's going to sit there and wait and be like, nah, his mask's off, bro. Can't do it.
Yeah, he's sitting. I can't move when he's sitting.
What do you mean we can't get him? His mask? I was going to go for a soundbite.
Oh, man.
But,
Yeah,
you know,
it's-
that's this episode in a nutshell.
I was gonna say we'll close it down.
We'll close this one down. I think we might be doing a beer share here. I don't know if we can really effectively record. We probably could. We'll do it outside.
Yeah.
We may have a couple people over.
Yes.
We'll have sanitation in place. You
Yes.
have a canopy.
Social distancing.
I have a canopy.
Yeah.
We can probably have yours is a 10 by 10?
Yeah.
It's 100 square feet. I got 100 square feet. Anybody else coming over who wants to bring one?
Yeah, you could easily have.
We could 400 to 600 square feet of covered area we can sit outside in.
Yeah. At least 5 people.
I might have to bring some long
tables.
long tables and cables and
Oh yeah, cable so we can
headphones
record.
so we can record with somebody 50 feet away.
Yes.
And then we need the headphone cable so they could hear us.
I was gonna
That's what
say
we
you can
should
have a
do.
conversation. Yeah.
Or we may just record with a couple people beforehand.
Yeah.
Get the near and beer friends out. We love those people. We're missing everybody.
We are. We need to get back in touch with people. And,
Hey, we joke a lot about
back
COVID, but
to
you know
it,
what?
man.
It's a serious thing.
yes. Yeah, we don't want anybody to obviously be harmed if they get hit by COVID.
Yeah.
We just
It's all in fun.
We just think the government has a little confusion about what should be done and what shouldn't be done, and obviously there's people out there hurting because of the indecisive and just no nonsensical information that they put out.
I mean, as people I work with would say, what is this tomfuckery?
Yes.
When I walk into a room and I stand silently looking around, they're like, "Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's caught something. He's caught something that he's gonna bring."
Yes.
What the fuck is that truss there?
Yeah. So we'll see. Hey, they're gonna send out another stimulus package, so we'll see how that helps people. But at a certain point, telling
Hey, I know we've
telling
taken tens of
renters-
thousands of dollars in income.
Yes.
Here's $1,200. Oh, thank you,
Yes.
thank you. Now
all
I
my
just
problems are solved.
now I just have 48,500 to make up for the last couple months.
Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Please, sir, may I have some more?
Yes. Yeah, there needs to be a plan. There's no plan. It's just what do we do right now? And it's hard for people to survive sitting back waiting and saying, I don't know when this is going to get better. There is no plan. They're acting like it's people's fault for not wearing masks that's causing it. Yeah.
If there was a sound for 2020, this would be it. And every time I watch the news or read an article,
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
oh my god. Well, I guess we'll close it out. If you made it this far, thank you for listening.
Thank you for staying around for the last 40 minutes. We appreciate it.
Maybe what we should do is we should do kind of like the minimalists do. We do like the episode we need to do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
And then
put
the-
out on
and
something,
then the
maybe
post.
YouTube, and then we do like a long form one that's a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
So you get
a
the
good
best
idea.
of both worlds.
Yeah. Let us know, if you guys are listening to this, if you like that idea too. Give us some feedback. But yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me.
If you made it to the end of this episode, comment on it. Comment somewhere on social media
Facebook.
with your favorite
Instagram.
beer.
Yeah. Post
So if we
us on
see
your
people
Instagram.
posting about it, nobody posts on our things, do we?
No.
We also don't post a lot.
No, we don't post a lot.
We're like that grandmother.
Instagram, we post a decent amount. Definitely
Yeah,
you.
because pictures.
Yes.
You
So
have to get some pictures.
yeah.
I have like 6 beers sitting in my garage I need to take pictures of.
So yeah, Instagram would be a nice place. Post a picture of your beer, tag us in it.
And then we'll know that you actually listen to us. But if you don't, it doesn't matter.
It's okay. It's a chance for us to get together, drink a beer, and
And one of the things we're going to
Catch
be
up.
working on this week is we're going to be reaching out to a lot of breweries with some interesting things we'd like to help and work on with. And maybe we'll share that with next episode.
yeah, we want to get back involved with the breweries.
Yeah.
We feel like we can help.
Yeah.
Maybe very little,
Everybody helps.
but
in
it's
this little-
something.
So I'm Tom.
I'm Chris.
And
Thanks
this has
for
been
listening.
Getting Tapped. Oh man, I didn't put anything for like an ending.
The ending.
I really fucked this one up. So I guess we're just gonna, play a song out. I guess we can keep using this song if we really want to.
Yeah.
Or we just come up with different songs every week.
That might be fun. You have to worry about